What is going on, YouTube? Crypto for Change here. We got Seawill, and we also have a new guest on the channel today, JT Invest in You. And today we are going to be talking about the top 10 cryptos to buy for 2022. So we have each taken time the past couple of days to jot down or just drum up, our top 10s of what we're buying, maybe what we would recommend to buy, and some cryptos that we see some good potential in. So I hope you guys enjoy this. Hope you enjoy hanging out with us. So let's kick it off right now. We're going to start, JT, since you are the guest on today's show. A lot of channel doesn't know you. Let's start with you. Which one are you going with in your top 10 spot?
All right. I appreciate you having me. It's great to be here. And let's just jump right into the top 10. I actually have a list here of about 20. I didn't know who was going to go first. Coming in probably at number 10 is the YLDY token, which is the governance token for YLDY. The reason why it's number 10 is primarily because I want exposure to it, but I'm really uncertain how it's going to play out in the long run. We've seen other platforms with their governance tokens where they'll have their main token and that token does well, but their governance token actually doesn't do well.
Yeah.
So I don't want to jump 100% into it for that exact reason, but I would like to have some exposure to it.
YLDY is an interesting one.
Yeah.
Wouldn't have thought about that. So.
Yeah, I honestly, it didn't come in mind, but that's just because we don't know too much about it just yet. But hey, I like the diversity. I love YLDY. So let's go with it. All right, see what you got.
Well, I went on some mainstream type of stuff right here, but Mutable X.
Okay.
Yeah, so this is a NFT, like Ethereum scaling type of token platform. Okay. And, I listen to all kind of different channels like Gary Vaynerchuk, a lot of these mainstream guys, and I know they only use Ethereum and they don't know anything about the stuff we're talking about here. And I keep hearing them talk about Immutable X. So I did some research on it. So I put that as a number 10, a riskier number 10. I don't know too much, but I know it's popping.
Okay. So it's on Ethereum's network though, and in the NFT space.
Yeah. It's like one of those Polygon type scaling features that make NFTs cheaper, faster. And I know that the population, like I said, mainstream is all over Ethereum. So yeah,
Gary V's big into NFT, so if he's hitting it, it definitely has some pop potential, I would say.
Yeah, Immutable X. Yeah. So what about you, David?
All right, for me, I'm actually gonna, and this is actually one of the first cryptos I was considering mining, I guess you could say, but it's actually Helium. So the ticker is HNT. Helium. Has the little, you can buy it's like a wireless router you can buy, put in your home. There's some more expensive ones, but I think it's like $600, and it kind of is. It connects to this network and the Internet of Things, the IoT stuff, where it's trying to make the whole, connection better. And so if you live in an area that has a lot of these, your mining is actually better and it's more, and you actually earn more. And when I did some research, I live in, downtown St. Pete, and I was actually already it's already really well connected. So that's one that I see some potential in. I've actually bought some, I've swung traded a few times. But it's something in 2022, I may take the dive. Depends on what I get for Christmas. We'll see what Santa brings me, but I may take the dive and actually get that little mining tool. I think it's called the Bobcat, but you just sit it in your windowsill and it sits there and it mines for you all day. So I think that's number 10 for me, mainly because of, and I'll give it an idea. You guys can say this as well. The reasons for my list that I broke down and why they made my top 10 was one, they're easy to buy or find. So I picked cryptos that are easy to find on major exchanges, stuff that people can get into. They're easy to stake or to make passive income with. So Helium, cross-check that, with just being able to buy the Bobcat, leave it at home, let it mine for you, earn that passive income. Some of them have long-term potential in them. So obviously, if you're just a diamond hand or you're just wanting to find some stuff for 2022 to buy and hold, and then obviously it's either a need or maybe it's disrupting a space that's in the crypto market. So you guys can also maybe say a little bit, on your next one, maybe what made you build your list. But yeah, Helium for me comes in at number 10. So JT, let's see
that's a mainstream play too, right there. I heard about Helium.
Yeah, I think it's in the top 60 maybe in CoinMarketCap.
For sure.
Have you heard of the YouTuber Nerdy Dude stuff?
I have not.
I have heard of Nerdy Dude stuff.
He used to make a lot of videos on Algorand months and months and months ago when I first got into Algorand, and he also does a lot of miner related videos, and he would talk about the Helium miner a lot. So
yeah, Yeah, it's huge. And obviously for the viewers, you know, as we're mentioning these, this is for you to hear, you know, jot down some cool cryptos, and then you go do your own research. You start, you know, digging into this stuff. It's always good to go do your own research. So JT, let's get into number 9 for you.
All right. Number 9 for me would probably be GoMNT, which is another governance token. It's the governance token for ALGO Mint. I have a huge interest. Actually, a lot of my tokens will be governance tokens. I think they will be pretty important tokens going forward, especially on platforms that you feel are going to be important. And that's a huge platform for the Algorand ecosystem. So I think the more decentralized its governance is, the better it would be long run. So that would be coming in at number 9 for me. And the reason it's also towards the bottom is, again, because I don't know how the governance tokens will perform. I still think they're important to have a piece of and like take part in, but I'm not sure how they'll perform. So that's why it's ranking number 9 as opposed to upwards to the top.
Okay. And is this live yet? Is the Go Mint live yet?
No, neither of the governance tokens I've mentioned. Actually, I don't think any of these governance tokens that I'm about to mention have been live yet, but no, ALGO Mint has not released their token yet.
Okay, so good things to track and get in early on for 2022.
I think early 2022 will be when they announce over the next like 2 months or so.
Sweet.
Interesting. Okay.
All right, Seawill, what you got for number 9?
So number 9, I'm coming in with Axie Infinity. I already know it did a huge run up, but the theme of my list and where I'm kind of going in 2022 is gaming, metaverse, and music. That's where I'm at all of next year. But yeah, Axie Infinity, for those who don't know, it's kind of like a Pokemon battle game on Ethereum. It is dope. They got all kind of stuff. Research it. It ran up a lot already from, I think, $1 to like 100, but you know, still got room to grow, I believe, with this new market.
For me, I'm going to come in at number 9 with AMP. AMP is a token that I still see. You know, we had a lot of news last year about like, you know, Walmart, Amazon, you know, hiring all these positions to, you know, start to do research in crypto. And I think what AMP is doing with collateralizing, you know, being that intermediary for the payments collateral, you know, for when they settle. And obviously you don't have to worry about too much of that with Algorand because of how fast, but with other networks like Ethereum, you do. And so I do think AMP will fill that niche. And I honestly don't think it's had a run. I mean, I think right now it's up maybe all time 200 to 400%. So that's still a token that I think as 2022 unravels, as you see some maybe bigger player companies start to accept crypto, I think having that insurance settlement system built into some of these transactions is going to be important for the big players. So I'm still, you know, I've had a lot of people ask me on the channel, you know, do you still like AMP? I still hold it. It's an easy one to stake, and I do see long-term potential for it. So that's AMP is coming in for me at number 9.
I sold AMP. I thought it was gonna pop. It should have popped in this summer, but it didn't. I was like, I'm out of here.
Diamond handed. All right, JT, what you got for number 8?
All right, so number 8 would be eGold or Elrond. And if anyone checked out my latest video, I did a video on the top 20 or 25 cryptos and ranked them in order of how efficient they are with energy usage, or essentially how bad they are for the planet. And coming in at number 2, right behind Algorand, was Elrond. Elrond is a super efficient blockchain. They also do a lot of work in Europe to do carbon offsetting as well. They were the second blockchain to commit to being carbon negative after Algorand. It's not really used that much. That's another reason why it's at the bottom of my list, around number 8. I think it's only averaging like 56,000 transactions a day. So the blockchain isn't used too much, but it is very interesting technology. I like what they're doing. I think smart contract L1 platforms that are environmentally friendly will have a good year next year. So that's why it's on my list.
Nice. Yeah, actually, I have some buddies in some Discords who've bought some Elrond inspired NFTs and have been showing them off. So I think, I've definitely heard quite a bit about that one. And it's in the top, I think, 75, cryptos in total market cap, somewhere up there. So
Elrond got a community as well. Like, and I've been in since $1.50. Like, I seen it at $25 and I blew it. Like, so I got in anyway. But Elrond, I think, is a sleeper for sure. But number 8 for me, it is Cosmos or Atom. I feel like Atom still has a lot of room to run, and I watch its ecosystem. It is expanding. They're doing something totally different with the inter blockchains, IBCs, totally different style. So that's something to look up. Cosmos ecosystem. I'm just like kind of taking the whole ecosystem.
Yeah, for sure. Coming in at my number 8, I was wondering if this is going to happen. It's our first crossover. I got Atom listed as well, Cosmos. So if you're looking, that's the ticker symbol. It's ATOM. Obviously, I'm not going to go too much more in depth, but yeah, it's trying to bridge this whole ecosystem of blockchains, trying to make it easier to, if you want to use one, but then move something to another one, and just how they all speak together, the coding and all that stuff. So I think there's a lot of potential there in 2022. And so I am bullish as well on Atom, and I do hold some in my ledger. So that one's one I'm diamond handing for sure.
Yeah, Atom's dope.
All right, JT, what you got for number 7? I see you doing some marking there. You jockeying the positions.
I'm trying to figure it out. I have 2 I have to cross off the list and not include, but honestly, I do think I would go with another governance token, which would be Tinyman's token when they announce it. There's 2 reasons for that, primarily because we've seen exchange tokens like Uniswap's token and SushiSwap's token absolutely take off.
CRO.
Exactly. And including my, I don't want to spill the beans, but one of my other ones is also an exchange token for a similar reason. But I think Tinyman is obviously crucial to Algorand's ecosystem. I think the exchange tokens are absolutely going to take off, and I'd love to be part of the governance along the way.
Heck yeah. I mean, obviously a lot of the people on the channel, you follow, Jay, if they follow you, if they follow Seawill, me, I've done many videos on Tinyman. It's an amazing, I just did one yesterday about how it gets you into any Algorand standard asset, and you're getting into the ecosystem so early. So yeah, I agree. Once Tinyman releases that token, I'll be scooping some up as well.
I seen there's a Tinyman token on Tinyman. Is that what you're talking about, or a different token?
I'm hoping for the official Tinyman token. Unfortunately, right now, because it's a decentralized exchange, anyone can launch a token. So there's a bunch of copycat tokens, including, I thought it was a little weird of Tiny Charts to take the Tiny acronym. So they have a token called Tiny Token. So it gets really confusing, but Tinyman has not released a token yet. So there's nothing to purchase at this time from Tinyman. Anything you see on the decentralized exchange that says Tinyman token is just a copycat trying to fool people, unfortunately.
Thank you, because I was checking that out, but I need to confirm. Thank you.
Yeah, it's super unfortunate that, I mean, that's
why you got to do your own research.
It's the double-edged sword of a permissionless application. Anyone can launch anything. That doesn't mean it's legit. But so definitely be careful. Definitely cross-check anything on the Algo Explorer. Make sure it's the one you want to buy for sure.
See, Will, what you got for number 7?
7, Decentraland. So this is a metaverse play. I used to be in Decentraland. I messed up and sold, so I'm going to learn once I get back in. But Decentraland, just based on metaverse alone, and it's popping right now.
I actually bought into Decentraland right before the pop. So yeah, under $1 is where I have most of mine, and I haven't sold any of it. So I'm still hanging on, diamond handing that. Coming in at my number 7 is going to be HBAR or Hedera. And the reason for it, obviously, I do have some. I don't think you can stake it yet, but it's easy to get on, sites like Coinbase. And the governing council behind it has big enough players that's why I'm bullish on it. It's like Google, Boeing, T-Mobile, maybe. I mean, even there's some other eco-friendly, earth-friendly, companies that are behind it as well. So I think with a group of a governing council of that caliber, I think there has to be something big down the road. And it kind of it's trying to do, solve the, Web3 solution, but not using blockchain, but using the hash graph method, which I'm not going to dive into all that and what it does, but it's supposed to be faster, more scalable than your traditional blockchain. So we'll see kind of what happens with that in 2022, but I do see a lot of potential for it, as well as just it's a disruptor. It's something different than, what you see with a lot of other, blockchains coming out, just trying to solve maybe what Ethereum's doing. I feel like they're just trying to take a whole new approach to solving, something for the future and the way money moves on the internet. So HBAR was number 7 for me.
Interesting. I do have a couple concerns with HBAR, but it is an interesting technology. I mean, it's yet to be seen if the hash graph technology will end up becoming better than blockchain, but it's an interesting take. And I like your point that, you're just, they're trying something different. So it's cool to be part of something innovative. Number 6 for me will be Audio. Audio token is the token for Audius. And for those that don't know, it's a decentralized music streaming platform on Solana, I believe. And there's a lot of artists that I listen to regularly that actually stream their songs through Audius currently. And that's actually what made me more interested in the product, because it was already interesting to me. And then the more I checked it out, I was like, oh, I listen to this artist all the time. I listen to this artist all the time. And so it's really, really cool to see, especially because a lot of the music I listen to, I really can only find on like SoundCloud and stuff. You know, you're not hearing it on the radio. So it was really cool to see that. They also had a partnership with TikTok during the summer, which helped them make them pop. So I think big things could be coming from them. I do hope they become more of a cross-chain asset, because I have some worries about Solana, but I do think the project itself, you know, you don't want to base a project just based on the blockchain they're on, because you can move blockchains. You know, that's not too hard. You can become, you know, you can branch out to multiple blockchains too. So you know,
true.
But I'll just leave it at that. I do think Audius would be a great buy, and that'll be my number 6.
Number 6 for me, I have Sandbox. Again, another what makes me more really interested in Sandbox is the buying of the lots and the land. You know, so creating those environments. I'm seeing a big real estate boom inside of the metaverse this next year.
Yeah, the metaverse is going to be huge. So I definitely think having some of those tokens that are in the metaverse early movers is definitely going to pay off and can be big plays for sure.
Yeah, I wonder if the metaverse will need a realtor. We'll see.
Hey, there you go. You're right. You already got a money making opportunity right there. I mean, heck, with the prices out there, I need somebody to negotiate for me, because some of these things I ain't paying.
No, it's crazy.
It's wild.
Crazy.
So coming in at my number 6 is actually going to be Theta. Now this is
Theta.
I'm pretty sure is the creators of YouTube is actually creating this. It's going to be launching in 2022. So, but you can buy the token. The token is available on Coinbase, I'm pretty sure. If not, it's on most other major exchanges. But it's going to be, it pretty much pins itself as the future of streaming. And, you know, people like us, you know, if we're creating videos on YouTube, you know, there's a lot of censorship. There's a lot of, you know, we don't get paid as much as we probably should get paid. I mean, let's be honest. You know, I'll be honest. Someone literally tipped me an algo on one of my last videos because I put it in the description below. I made more money from that one person tipping than YouTube the whole last 4 months of me putting out almost 100 videos. Like, I mean, it's just not rewarding. It's like you're seeing with the NFT space. Now you're seeing these artists really start to just jump in, build something and build an ecosystem, make money, and they don't have to worry about paying, you know, the guy at the top all the money. They can actually rake it in. So Theta is one that I see a lot of potential for people like us, people who are streaming, to move over to platforms like that and create content and hopefully be able to monetize it in NFTs or some form. I don't really know exactly all that they're going to incorporate, but I do think that has a pretty big runway just as the social media landscape evolves. And obviously, if it's someone who is at the, you know, producing or creating YouTube, I think that shows that, you know, he knows what he's doing. So I feel pretty confident getting behind someone who's had that experience and going into the blockchain space.
Theta, yeah, I heard of Theta before, but I have not like really done a lot of research on it.
That's just really interesting because, as you said, there's a big monetary curve in YouTube. Like, as you can see, there's plenty of YouTubers making a lot of money, but a lot of us closer to the bottom of the subscriber ladder, you know, really not making much, if any at all. So, I mean, I actually have a very similar experience where the only money I've made is through a couple of tips that I've got along the way from the Algorand community, which has been great. I mean, the Algorand community is awesome, but that's really true what you said. So I'm actually going to have to look into Theta because I've not heard of it.
That is the thing. It's like, it's so cool to see the Algorand community come around, you know, NFT artists, YouTubers, and just really prop each other up. It means a lot. It meant a lot to me to wake up and see that type of tip. I was like, dang, I mean, maybe I should have been saying this from the get-go. I mean, not as a way to just like try to take money from people, but it means a lot that someone likes my videos enough and enjoys jumping in and being a part of it that much to give me a tip. So huge. I think Theta has a lot of potential. We got top five of cryptos to buy in 2022. JT, start us off. What do you got?
All right, coming in at number 5 for me is Zone. Zone token, for those that don't know, is a gaming play. Zone by XYZ Esports. Yep, I always forget the 3 letters, but I'm sure a lot of the listeners know what Zone is. It's going to be a token on Algorand. It's a gaming platform. I think gaming plays are a big play, and I think this is going to be an exciting one for Algorand. I think it's the best one that's been unveiled so far for Algorand. So I think It'll be amazing for the community. It'll be amazing for the ecosystem. It'll bring in a lot of attention from other ecosystems. So I think it'll be a great play to watch.
Heck yeah. I'm excited to see how they partner, how they leverage their League of Legends with YLDY and obviously their big, partnership with Polygon Studios and that NFT marketplace. Like I already know they're going to be listing the ability to stake on YLDY. That'll be coming down. And I think they just released today that the token will be launching January, like right at the beginning of January, or something close. So
January.
Yeah, I did an interview with the CEO, Adi. He's really cool. And I think he has a lot of good things for Zone as it comes out. So yeah, super bullish on that one.
For sure.
Zone. Okay. All right. My number 5 is the OG Ethereum. You gotta have Ethereum on the list because it is the second largest crypto by market cap, almost 20% of the market. Most of the coins I have named are pretty much built on Ethereum. Ethereum, if I was a miner, I'll be, loaded right now because the gas fees is off the charts.
Right.
Again, but also if this 2.0 works out, if Ethereum actually scales and upgrades, it's definitely gonna, double or triple, I feel like, if they lower the fees on Ethereum. So I'm still putting Ethereum in the top 5.
Nice. Coming at my number 5, I'm actually going to say it's Mana, it's Decentraland, but I also put Sandbox right there with it. So kind of a 2-for-1, I guess you could say, on my top 5. And the reason for it is obviously the metaverse is huge. It's going to be a big money maker in 2022. Like you said, you may be selling real estate in the metaverse. Who knows in the coming years? But the only reason why I didn't put it higher is because of how expensive it is. Buying stuff in the metaverse right now is way too expensive unless you were early on Ethereum, early on Mana, early on Sandbox. Like you just can't afford, some of the things on there, thousands and thousands of dollars. So that's my only drawback to those is like, when are we going to see a metaverse play that's affordable to build and create stuff for the average user instead of just being a consumer in it? When are we going to get something built where the average person can go in there and play around and actually build without having to have thousands upon thousands of dollars to invest?
I think your answer will be had in 2022 when Hive Mind Capitals helps launch some sort of metaverse project on Algorand. I mean, they've got one
game over.
They have $1.5 billion to unload into different ecosystems for metaverse plays. So I think definitely have your eyes peeled for what they're going to be up to over the next year.
We're in the top 5. So now number 4 for you, JT.
All right. Number 4 for me would be Monero, ticker symbol XMR. And for me, this is a big one. I honestly would put it closer to the top, but it's one of those ones that I am concerned on how it could perform because it's a privacy coin and there's a lot more regulations coming for privacy coins. Monero's been delisted from a lot of exchanges. So obviously there is that delisting concern, which could hurt the price. However, I do feel as we're moving more and more into this digital world where everything's on blockchain, everything can be seen on a public ledger, we'll need some sort of digital cash that brings with it the anonymity that cash has in the everyday world, because you don't want people seeing all of your transactions. I mean, you want some of your transaction history to be private. So you could have, your private cash functionality in a coin like Monero, and then, anything you want to do on the public side, you can do with a blockchain like Algorand or something. So that's my argument for Monero. I think we do need some form of digital cash that brings with it that same anonymity.
All right, Seawill, what you got for number 4?
I know I'm getting boring now, but Bitcoin.
Getting boring with the top 2 dogs.
Yeah, so I like, again, Bitcoin for the same reason as Ethereum. It's the OG on there, right? Bitcoin is an institutional investment. We got a lot of countries still looking to buy Bitcoin. Bitcoin is still, the whole market moves when Bitcoin moves, so you can never do that. And I believe Bitcoin is a good move to, like, if you got some profits, you can dump it into Bitcoin and it's going to keep you pretty safe over time. So that's how I see Bitcoin.
Yep, especially if you're diamond handing it. Bitcoin has a pretty long road ahead of it, I think, before we see any type of slowdown. At least if you look at a long enough horizon. Obviously, the next big drop, the correction should be at least 70 to 80% whenever we hit it. We could be in it right now, going down for the next bit, but I hope we see a lengthening cycle into 2022.
No more corrections like that. It's too much money coming in now.
I don't know. I would say we definitely are going to see at least a 60, above 60% correction in 2022 at some point. It may be drawn out too, but
I would agree with it.
I think once it's got to come. I
see Bitcoin staying above 30. 40.
Right. I would agree, but
it depends on, for me, it depends on when it happens, because when you look at a chart, Bitcoin is the most important chart to look at, in my opinion, for all the reasons you just mentioned. But whenever Bitcoin has crashed, it has always bottomed on the 200-week moving average, which currently is at $19,000 right now. However, it's obviously moving up as time goes on and as Bitcoin's price averages higher than $20,000. So if the crash happens 3, 4, 5 months from now, that moving average could very well be at about $30,000. That could signal where the bottom is for sure. So, I mean, it mostly depends on when it happens, because if it happens a year from now, that moving average could be at like $60,000. You know, these prices right now could be below the future bottom. You know what I mean? It really all depends on when it happens. For sure.
Completely agree. But still, Bitcoin is obviously a good investment for the long haul. If you're
for sure. I mean, that's a great sign too, because like I said, it always lands in the 200-week moving average, which is at 20K right now. So even if it flash crashed right now and you saw it near 20K, that's a great time to buy. You'd be like, okay, I'm loading the boat. It's so close to where it would bottom up. Yeah, exactly.
For sure. All right. For me, number 4 is actually going to be my first, I think so. Yeah, it'll be my first dive into the Algorand ecosystem, and it is Opulus. I'm big on Opulus, and mainly, so like I said, with the reasons for my list, it may not meet the easy to buy criteria for some, because it's not on a Coinbase, or, I don't even know if it's on like a crypto.com or some of the other bigger exchanges, but you can easily get it on Tinyman or even like Qcoin or MEXC if you have those accounts. So it passed that. But for me, the biggest thing is the disruptor in the space. So the music industry, I mean, Seawill, you probably know it way more than me from someone who actually creates music. Guys, if you don't know, he just had an NFT a song drop as an NFT last Friday. So make sure to go check that out for him, support him everywhere you can. But I think that connecting the fans and the music is the next step for the music industry. And I think Opulus has positioned itself well with Ditto Music and the backers that it has. So I think that it deserves that that top 5 for that reason, just because I think it's going to change, the music industry, and it's already got tons of people super hyped for some songs to release. I've never been excited for a song to release. I mean, I've never waited for, I will say I do like the Mumford & Sons. I was excited to see their last album, and I'm always excited to see their music, but like now I'm actually invested. So I'm going to earn money when this Lil Pump song comes out. So it's really neat. I think it's a first mover type thing. So Opulus for me is number 4.
That is a great segue to my number 3, which is in fact Opulus. So here's another crossover.
Let's go.
Obviously for all the reasons you just mentioned, but I also just want to add, they have probably some of the best advisors on the team. I know they have, I believe, Taylor Bennett, who's the manager for
Chance
the Creator. Chance
the Rapper. That's his brother.
Mix that up. And then they have the former CEO of Sony Music as one of their advisors, which is huge. I mean, that alone, I mean, the former CEO of Sony Music helped sign names like Amy Winehouse and Radiohead and huge names like that. So it's really a no-brainer for me for all the reasons you said. First mover advantage, the fact that it kills the middleman. Like, no need to go through a record label and ask for a terrible contract, or go to a bank and get a loan with a terrible interest rate. You can finance your projects by going straight to your fans and allowing your fans to grow with you, as opposed to the record label to grow with you. In fact, they grow more than you because they take such a big cut.
Exactly. And they had Jump Capital partner with them, which is Jump Capital is the same one that helped Solana. It helped Chile's. And all you got to do is go check out those charts. And I think
to the moon.
Exactly. I think you get what I would say there.
Yeah. Okay. Number 3 for me would be YLDY.
All right.
Yep.
Above Bitcoin and Ethereum. I'm just
because so what my understanding, looking like when we got like ALGO, even looking at other chains, when we're doing borrowing and lending, when people are using collateral, we're dumping all that collateral money or leverage margin money into a DeFi coin. And that's YLDY for Algorand, because we want to accelerate our growth. So that's like a no-brainer. It's the key to making money faster, in my opinion. So I do put it above Bitcoin and Ethereum. It's Algorand's number 1 or 2 in my opinion. So I'm like hyped with YLDY.
Heck yeah.
Yeah.
So coming to my number 3 is actually YLDY as well. That's why I was giving you so much on that one. Obviously, YLDY, if you're in the Algorand ecosystem, you know, the number one place you normally start in DeFi is with YLDY. Obviously, now we have ALGO. And that's another cool area where you can use, you know, leverage, you can lend, you can borrow, you can supply, you can use leverage and stuff like that. But I just love the simplicity of buying a crypto, being able to stake it, earn some good APY for those people who want some exposure into some other projects, want some risk, but maybe they're not sophisticated enough to want to go do a margin or have leverage and stuff like that. Yeah, I just think, you know, YLDY's positioned itself well, and especially with the news that dropped a few months ago with their partnership with Polygon Studios, building out that the Y esports or YLDY esports. I don't really know what they're calling it, but
I think it's esports.
Yeah, it's like Yay Sports, esports, YLDY esports. I don't really know if the Y is just meant to be like their symbol. Yeah, but I think that is huge for YLDY's, you know, 2022. So I'm waiting for its moon to 10 cents and above, and I think it's coming. It may be near the end of 2022, but if it is, that just gives me plenty of time to keep stacking my stack and building that bag, because when it does moon, it's going to make a lot of the people who are early on Algorand very wealthy, and give them the ability to then, you know, do what they want to do, help other projects grow. Maybe we'll be some venture capitalists. Who knows?
I knew this was going to happen, but time for a lot more overlap. My number 2 is YLDY.
Hey, there we go.
It's mostly, I mean, obviously for all the reasons you mentioned, but another thing is they have an enormous roadmap ahead of them. They're trying to list on a new exchange almost every month going forward, which is going to be huge. I know they have a ZipMex exchange launch coming up, but you're absolutely right. I mean, I do think we're going to agree on on our number ones, but Algorand itself as a smart contract platform is usually, like most smart contract platforms, are valued by their TVL. Yep. YLDY is going to be something that supercharges their TVL, but even more so are the bridges that bring that money and that liquidity from Bitcoin, from Ethereum with ALGO, and soon to be Solana with Glitter Finance bridges. Wow. We're going to have so much money pouring in from those blockchains, leveraging up their money through ALGO, because you can supply some of these tokens at 1%, 2%, 3%, take out a loan at the equivalent or even less than that, basically have an almost free loan, and then take that and supply either liquidity to Tinyman or supply it to staking pools on YLDY, which I think that's going to be a no-brainer, because you can take out loans at 1%, 2% and then go swap them and exchange them and put them in a pool earning 44% on YLDY. It's literally a no-brainer. And I think all of the platforms are going to benefit from the bridges, but I think YLDY is going to benefit the most from all of these bridges.
I'm bullish. I have a lot of people who, a lot of family, friends who I've got into crypto, and obviously told them about Algorand and YLDY, who they asked me many times, when's the date? When moon? when is my stack gonna blow up? And I'm hopeful we see it, you know, maybe not a push above $1 or something insane, but I think we could see a move, above, anywhere between 5 cents, 10 cents coming in 2022.
I don't think $1 is out of reach, but maybe not 2022. But I do think that YLDY could pretty much hit $1, especially if it fills out its roadmap and becomes more of like a pancake swap for Algorand. Because what pancake swap is, an all-in-one stop. You can swap your tokens, you can stake your tokens, you can participate a lot on that website. You don't have to leave to go to another website like Tinyman. So if YLDY could really become a one-stop shop where we can swap tokens, I know they have a purchasing algo on the app. So if you could just buy algo right there, if you could swap it, you could participate in NFT marketplaces, staking, no reason to move off the exchange, move off the page, even maybe incorporate some games or something just to continue to have eyes on your platform. I really think it'll be a no-brainer. I think it could really take off like pancake swap, which would, at current value, put it at over $1.
This just became a YLDY video right here.
Facts.
Well, we're getting to our top 2 or 3.
Exactly.
I mean, we have to be hyped about it.
So where we at?
All right, Seawill, we're number 2. So what do you got for number 2?
So my number 2 is Opulus. For all the reasons we discussed before. I'm following what's happening. Big Zuzu, right, out of England. He's dropping. He's actually, I think, be the first drop. His song's coming out for the early buyers. Like we said, we got Tyga coming. We got Kyle. We got a whole list of other artists. And the music industry overall is huge, and it produces a lot of money, and particularly the hip hop rap industry produces a lot of money. So when we get, as we said earlier, the community fans to buy into their favorite artist's song, it is a game changer. And then what this will do is cause an industry shift. We'll see 3, 4 more of these Opulus type companies drop from Def Jam, drop from Square, you know, Block will drop some. Everybody's gonna either pay to get in or they're gonna drop their own to compete. So which changes the whole industry with Opulus going to the moon.
I'm super excited for, you know, YLDY, Opulus, both of those are going to be, I'm hoping those are what help me get to, you know, some, at least the next level for 2022 in my crypto portfolio. My number 2 is actually going to be Matic or Polygon. So this is, you know, it took me a while to actually come up with this, and each time I kind of went back through my top 10, Polygon ended up moving up higher and higher. And the reason for it, I didn't put Ethereum, you know, in my top 10 because of, I just don't like the fees. I don't like the high fees. I don't like how slow it is. And a lot of the stuff, even if a transaction fails, you may still have to pay the gas fee. Like there's just a lot of issues. So for me, it's like, if you want exposure into Ethereum and you want a project that could really revolutionize it and make it grow, I think Polygon or Matic, which is the ticker symbol, is the play there. Now it has had a decent run already as far as, you know, where it's at now with being above $2. And here's one thing I will say, and JT, I'd like to get your thoughts on this as well, because I actually I went and looked at the tokenomics of Polygon, and it started, its max supply is 10 billion, which is the same as YLDY. It started, its listing price or ICO, all that stuff was almost identical to what YLDY started at. And if you look at their release schedule of the tokens and the amount that's in the network right now, they have a very similar release schedule. And so when making that comparison, I almost see that like YLDY could do something similar to what Polygon has done. And obviously it took a year and a half, actually a little bit over a year and a half, for Polygon to go from, you know, 0.002, which is where YLDY started, all the way to being above $2. And it's obviously seen some major corrections, but sticking on Polygon, before I go to that, make that final connection there, you know, it's going to scale Ethereum. It's going to make it faster. It already is. You can send stuff on that side chain way faster than you can Ethereum. And actually, if you go to their website, you can actually see the difference in the fees, not just to buying an NFT or just sending a transaction. It's massive. Now, obviously, I still go ahead.
Question. Is it literally its own blockchain that's kind of plugging into Ethereum, or is it an Ethereum based? Like, break that down.
So it's a side chain. So it's working. It uses the same technology of Ethereum, but it does it in a. They have, I think it's called ZK rollups and optimistic rollups. And I'm not going to get into the super details, but pretty much it's using that tech from Ethereum. So all the good things you could say, I guess, of Ethereum, but without, you know, less fees, faster, and they say they're more secure. So I'm guessing
you can send Ethereum like assets. That's the part that I get a little confused with that one. Or you got to bridge over, kind of like ALGO met.
I think you would be bridging over to Polygon and holding the Matic. Now, obviously, I've not done extensive research, but with what I've done and what I've seen, that's the reason why I listed up there high, because if Ethereum is going to get to ETH 2.0 and become what it says, it's going to be because of things like Polygon. And so for me, it's like, you know, Ethereum has ran a lot. So you may double your money, triple your money. But I think with Polygon, there's still the potential to, you know, really, you know, make more money off that one as it helps Ethereum grow. But going back to that one thing, JT, I was going to ask you, you know, what is your thought when you see coins out here in the top 10 or whatever, and their tokenomics, and you see some of the projects like Opulus, like YLDY, who are on market cap wise, they're way down there. Do you think that it's okay to see that, okay, if the tokenomics are similar, YLDY could have a similar trajectory as something like a Matic?
It certainly means it's possible. However, I mean, my main argument would essentially be, you know, totally different use cases, obviously. So Polygon is a scaling solution for the second biggest blockchain in the world, where YLDY is essentially just a yield farm currently. Obviously, it has a lot that it can grow into, and its roadmap shows that it's going to grow into something more. But yeah, I mean, obviously it's possible, especially with the tokenomics being so similar. My only concern, I mean, moving off from the comparison to YLDY, my only concern with a Ethereum scaling solution like Polygon is what happens to the scaling solution if Ethereum scales? Like, would you need the L2 anymore if Ethereum is already performing what the L2 would need? Right. And my other concern with an L2 is usually a lot of L2s create more throughput by sacrificing on some of the decentralization. So that is a little bit of my concern with Polygon, but I will say to throw some pros out there, when I was doing my latest video on the environmental cryptos, it was one of the most environmentally friendly cryptocurrencies. And it also was transacting some of the most transactions per day, I think like 3.5 million transactions per day, and still being one of the best for the environment. I think it was like number 3 or 4 on that list. Yeah. So there's certainly some pros and cons. I am a little concerned that if Ethereum does successfully scale, will it need those L2s or will they just fade off into the distance? And if they are still around, are they more centralized forms of the L1?
Yeah. See, I always thought for Ethereum to scale to ETH 2.0 and even get better, I thought it had to use these layer 2s. That's always been my impression, that like it can't scale without them, just because that's I guess the main difference between like Algorand, where it can actually scale on its layer 1, and it doesn't necessarily need something else built on it to help handle the transaction load and to mitigate fees and do all that stuff.
Well, Polygon is essentially using a lot of the technology that ETH 2.0 wants to use. Okay. So Ethereum is going to become a whole new blockchain. It's essentially going to leave the old one behind, and there's still going to be proof of work things happening that'll eventually phase out as they transition to their new proof of stake blockchain, whenever that does happen. So
then would you say, like, because that happened before, and that's why we have Ethereum and then Ethereum Classic.
Yes.
Do you think we're going to see another, like, Ethereum Classic's its own thing? There's an Ethereum 1.0 where people, I don't know why they wouldn't want to move forward, but maybe they don't want to. And then, or do you think we're still just going to see just have the same two, the Ethereum Classic and Ethereum 2.0?
I don't know how they plan to rectify it, but I wouldn't doubt to see them fork, like a true hard fork.
Yeah,
because it seems like it's going to be really messy. It sounds like such a easy scaling solution, but I mean, they couldn't even agree back when they were both proof of work chains. You know what I mean? They split then. You know, this is a much bigger change to the network. So it'll be interesting to see who's on board when the time's right. You know, so.
Yep, and I think so. Then obviously that's a good segue into, I will say, I'm just going to go say it, our number one. Obviously, none of us talked to each other to build these top 10s, but let's just say it on 3. 1, 2, 3. Algorand.
Ethereum. No.
Yeah, no, definitely Algorand's number 100%
Algorand.
All right, so we're all Algorand. So then let's talk about that a little bit. JT, I'll let you go first. You know, why are you most bullish on Algorand for 2022?
All right. I mean, it's the same reason I've been most bullish on it since I found it. A lot of it stems from the team. Obviously, we all know Silvio Micali is a very brilliant dude out of MIT, winning a Turing Award. There's actually, I can't remember his name right now, but there's 2 Turing Award winners on the Algorand team, and there's a Nobel Prize winner as an advisor. So it's a pretty stacked team. They'll be soon transitioning from about 1,100 TPS to 10,000 TPS, and then a second upgrade to 46,000 TPS, which is amazing.
And if the viewers don't know, TPS just means transactions per second.
Yes.
And to put that into context, context, Visa does what, 26,000 right now?
They say they can do 26,000, but when you actually, part of my last video did the calculations, and there's about, if you add up all of the credit card transactions that happen in a day, it comes out to being about 29,000 transactions per second. So upgrading to 46,000 transactions per second will make us be able to handle the transaction load and then some of the entire credit card industry, which is absolutely huge. And especially when we're bringing the block finality down from about 4.3 seconds down to about 2.5 seconds, there'll be almost instant transactions, handle more throughput than almost any other blockchain or even centralized ledger out there in a decentralized pure proof of stake manner. Because one of the issues of just traditional proof of stake or delegated proof of stake is the fact that the rich really do control the network. The more stake you have, the more control of the network you have. So pure proof of stake eliminates some of that issue and allowing every stakeholder, including somebody that just has one algo, the chance to be randomly selected to produce a block, which is a super secure consensus mechanism that will scale in a trustworthy manner. I think Algorand is an absolute no-brainer. And to add on top of that, at Decipher, there was a lot of talk on state proofs, and state proofs are essentially just compact certificates that can interact with other blockchains. So it's going to be a new technology on Algorand that allows Algorand to be more interoperable with other blockchains than really anything else out there currently. It's going to be a game changer.
Damn.
Heck yeah.
Well said. Well, number one for sure is like exactly what JD just said. There's almost nothing more else to say. Like Algorand, I see like will absorb pretty much all the other blockchains for the most part because it has the technology, it has the ability to do it. And I've been watching Algorand for over a year, and I'm seeing everything they said they were going to do. They have done it. They're executing. They're on time. Only thing that I've seen bad was Smile Coin. the knock smile coin, but that's about it. And
yeah, so, and some of the memes, but
yeah, a couple memes. But so other than that, we're gonna get that to happen. But Algorand as an investment is great. Just as a technology, it was the main reason why I found it and I chose to like really support it is because of the technology at JT broke down alone. It is impressive to do. Don't have to do bank transfers, send me algos in 4 seconds anywhere in the world. Like. There's nothing better than that. So that's kind of like where I'm at. The NFTs are growing. DeFi is growing. We're banking ourselves. The security is great. Say less.
Heck yeah.
Yeah.
For me, obviously, I honestly don't think I would have got as heavy investing wise into crypto if I didn't find Algorand. When I first found crypto, I found Ethereum. Of course, the fees were not as crazy as they are now, but I found Bitcoin and Ethereum and Dogecoin, and I was trading some, swing trading here and there, mostly doing Robinhood, like what most people find crypto, or they dip their toe in it with a platform like that. And then it comes to that point where, us YouTubers, we all say, do your own research. And for some reason, every single time I did a research, Silvio Macaulay's face popped up and I was like, who is this guy? Like, why am I always seeing him? And then once I did more research on just what Algorand's tech is, that's when I started going heavy. I mean, I have more money in Algorand than any other, stock asset right now. I mean, I have some that are close, but most of it's in Algorand. I see huge potential for. I'll touch on one thing that you guys didn't there about Algorand, but being the green blockchain, like the background behind me, even today, there was more news of a C was the name. I don't know what their full name is, but the token is C. And they made a partnership to bring over their network from the Binance Smart Chain over to Algorand to help collect more data, to help control our, help our world, help our climate, help find these emissions, help cut down on those. You have Planet Watch, who's partnered with Algorand to put the sensors there in Miami. We saw that at Decipher. As we grow as a human race and as the economy grows, like we have to start taking care of the planet we have. And Algorand has put that at the forefront of being the greenest blockchain and just taking all the steps necessary to make sure that they are useful in that way. And even being able to make Bitcoin green. Now you can bring your Bitcoin over to Algorand's network, transact with minimal fees, almost instant finality. That's huge. And even with Ethereum and stuff. So as these proof of work type things are going to become less, you're going to see more proof of stake. I love their pure proof of stake, as Silvio would say, which is just, the next step above. And so I'm super bullish on Algorand and its future, especially with the whole DeFi ecosystem blowing up this year. I think that's really, what you're going to see with the likes of, Scaramucci, Matt Zhang, Michael Arrington, the 4 bulls. Those 4 guys are all, putting tons and tons of money into the Algorand ecosystem to help it grow. So for the viewers, we all had Algorand as our number 1. If you don't know what Algorand is, go check out each of our socials, our YouTubes. We broke down tons of videos on what Algorand is, and just everything that is bringing to the space. So just a massive crypto right there.
Real talk, like Algorand is like a fucking game changer. I can't believe it. Like it definitely, what you said, David, it made me invest more into cryptocurrency because of Algorand.
I saw it as more, I finally saw the whole crypto space is more than a meme community and then Bitcoin. Like literally before, all I saw was like, it's a bunch of memes and it's a bunch of crazy stuff. And then there's Bitcoin. And now
that's what I saw.
It opened my eyes when I did the research to not only see more, but also they break it down in such a way I'm able to understand more and understand some of these other networks and what they're doing and why Algorand is better. So
exactly. I use it for educational purposes.
Yeah.
Like it's the best thing to teach cryptocurrency to somebody is like Algorand is that example.
Yeah. I've been investing in the space for about 4 years and I've never been more excited about a blockchain as I am for Algorand. So it's really interesting. And to touch on a point you made, David, I know when you said you were researching, you know, Silvio's name just kept coming up and kept coming up. And it's really interesting you say that, because something a lot of Ethereum maxis kind of ignore is that if you look in a lot of the research papers that are published by Vitalik or anybody else in the Ethereum Foundation, you know, in the footnotes or the citation page, you'll see Silvio's name come up numerous times because they use a lot of the mathematics that he helped create.
Yeah.
So it's one of those things that they like to kind of ignore, but you know, a lot of the tech that Ethereum created was because of the mathematics that Silvio, the founder of Algorand, helped create. So, you know,
it's even, and
we have a leg up.
Yeah, the reason why I even put Polygon Matic as my number 2, if you read what it's doing and what it's trying to incorporate, I should say, or use zero knowledge proofs, which that was created by, you know, yours truly, you know,
by the
Silvio. Yes, so it's like they're trying to do, like, Algorand, I feel like, has just been, obviously Ethereum launched before it. Silvio said he saw, you know, an issue. He saw something. He locked himself in his room, or is his words, not mine, when he was doing a live video one day. And he said, they just said, I can build something better. And he has, and now he's seeing all these other things that are, you know, that Ethereum's trying to do. And it's just like, it's already been done and it's right there. And we got to, like, what, a 30% or almost a 50% discount the past, you know, couple weeks with the market bleeding red. So huge buying opportunity. And like I said, it checks all the boxes off for me with easy to buy. You can get it on Coinbase, although make sure you move it off there quick, because
Coinbase is trash.
They'll be locking that stuff up. You know, it's
crypto.com. Use crypto.com.
I have heard some people have been using that now to get at.
No, it's so much easier and smooth. Like,
soon we'll just be using YLDY, just like JT said.
Exactly. Whatever you use, though, get it in a wallet. I mean, learn how to use it. There a little bit more responsibility, but it's certainly, you'll always have access to your coins, because, you know, even crypto.com could one day go down and then you wouldn't have access to those coins. So it's best to certainly move them onto a wallet that you have 100% control over, for sure.
For sure. All right. Well, thanks for coming on the channel today, guys. Obviously, you have heard each of our top 10 cryptos to buy for 2022. Some of them are about to come out, so make sure you're following us on our social medias so that we can be giving you the information of where you can get your hands on them, how to get them, and all that stuff, and also just more research on these projects as they evolve. You know, the whole crypto ecosystem and community is growing at a fast rate, and so news is coming out daily. So you'll want to make sure you follow each and every one of us on our socials, on YouTube, watch the videos we put out, and also put in the comments down below, you know, challenge us on some of them if you think we shouldn't have included one in the top 10, or maybe if you think we missed something. You know, be sure to let us know in the comments, and until next time, let's get out there and make some money.
Take care, everyone. I appreciate you having me.